News 14 Carolina meteorologist Matthew East here with you. This is the January 7th edition of the Carolina weather video, and another big blast of Arctic air charging its way down the plains toward our area. And as it's going to begin moving in here, we have a relatively weak storm system that'll swing through that could bring us some light snow or snow showers this evening and tonight. We'll get into all that here as I go through the video. Let's talk about, first of all, there's your temperatures this morning across the lower 48, and there comes that next shot of bitterly cold air running from southern Canada, spilling into the Rockies, and now down into the Plain States. You're looking at a lot of teens and 20s below zero there in the northern Rockies, and that's spreading out into the Plain States. Now let's talk about our next storm system. There's a look at all the watches, warnings, and advisories across the lower 48. A couple areas under blizzard warnings there in the upper Plain States. A lot of winter storm warnings from the Midwest into the plains, and a little narrow corridor of winter storm warnings near Highway 82 in central Mississippi. And then just a widespread area of winter weather advisories. That's pretty much all the counties you see highlighted in yellow. And does include north and central Georgia and Alabama, pretty much all of Tennessee, and then up through parts of the Ohio Valley. That's as this next storm system continues to advance in. That's the radar shot from 5:15 this morning. And what you're looking at generally here is some light to moderate snow running from north Mississippi up through the Midwest. And then you get into presently rain from central Mississippi back into Louisiana rather, and eastern Texas. Closer shot here at the southeast, and this band of precip will continue to gradually move eastward. Now notice already the echo is fairly weak across parts of Tennessee, and I think that's going to be a trend that continues, as the moisture is going to be very limited here across much of the Carolinas. But I'll get into that. Let's go to the modeling. This is the 6C run of the GFS, and central Mississippi and Alabama will see any type of rain that initially occurs kick over to snow today. And that precipitation will continue to spread eastward. This is 7 p.m. this evening, and you're looking at the leading edge of the snow at that point in time in the mountains down into central Georgia. And that band of light snow and snow showers will then advance eastward into the region, into the Carolinas, down into north and central Georgia as well. Notice the precipitation over by 1 a.m. back into Alabama, at least northern Alabama. And then finally by 7 a.m. tomorrow, you're looking at that precip shifting through eastern parts of the Carolinas, and that will continue to advance on out to sea. By lunchtime tomorrow, I think the precipitation completely gone from the Carolinas. For the Charlotte, the Triad zones, GSP area, this is mainly an evening event extending into the early part of the overnight hours, but this is mainly an evening into tonight event. Total precip amounts with this event on the GFS, and notice not a lot of moisture to work with here. The mountains are going to do their normal job of wringing out a lot of the moisture with this system. This is not a system that's really going to be pulling a lot of moisture in from the south. This system is going to be coming in from the west, so the mountains will wring out a lot of the moisture with it. That's why you see a lighter area precipitation totals in the upstate into the western part of North Carolina. But I think as this system moves on through, we're not looking at a major event. We're looking at some light snow or snow showers this evening and tonight, and it could be a dusting, maybe an inch of snow in some spots. At very most, maybe a lucky spot gets 2 inches, but that's probably on the extreme upper end of this. And some folks will not see any snow accumulation at all. But I do think some folks will pick up a dusting to an inch or so with this evening and tonight. Now, a lot of dynamics at play. You have to watch for surprises with this type of system, but it really just looks like the moisture is way too limited to see any type of major deal out of this. But what will be very significant is this next blast of cold air moving in. Check out high temperatures tomorrow. And that next big blast of Arctic air settling in is going to be a struggle to make it to freezing for Charlotte and Greensboro. Same deal with Atlanta. Birmingham will have a sub-freezing day tomorrow. And look at this very, very cold air back in the Plain States. We're talking sub-zero high temperatures in a lot of places up here in the northern plains. It's going to be a brutal day. In relation to average high temperatures for January 8th, Look at that. This is not a mistake. We're talking 30 and 40 degree below average high temperatures. That's incredible back in the Plain States. With snow on the ground, blowing and drifting snow, that's going to be a brutal day back there. And it's going to be pretty brutal by our standards around here. Again, low 30s, we'll see wind chill values at their warmest in the low 20s tomorrow. A breezy day despite sunshine. And it's going to be feeling very, very cold. Let's go out to this is Saturday. Going to be another very cold day. Notice the position of this Arctic high. It's back in the plains. So all weekend long, we're going to have this northerly flow keeping things very cold. So Saturday, most Piedmont spots probably below freezing. Sunday, some of us might pop above freezing, but not much. Another day with 30s for highs, low 30s at that in most spots. And we're talking lows well down into the teens all weekend long. So just a really, really cold weekend ahead. Need to protect those pipes. Make sure you have antifreeze in the automobiles. And certainly check on anybody that does not have access to reliable heating. It's going to be a really nasty weekend in terms of cold. Monday, we begin to see some moderation. I think the cold is going to hang on a little bit more stubbornly than some of the models are indicating, but probably still 30s for highs in a lot of spots Monday. And then we should probably see some 40s trying to work back in here by Tuesday for highs. And Wednesday, we should be in the 40s as well. Now, we're going to be transitioning from this really dry, cold pattern to more of a split flow type of pattern as we get deeper into next week. And that means a couple things. It means more storm systems, but I don't think the cold air is just going to vanish. There's still a lot of the indices, the Arctic oscillations staying strongly negative. The NAO doesn't really want to go back to positive. The PNA does want to stay positive. All those are indices that indicate we're going to want to keep cold air around the eastern part of the country. So I don't think we're going to see any blow-torching warmth. Yeah, maybe some average or closer to average high temperatures next week, but I don't think we're looking at 60s or 70s anytime soon. It's going to stay generally cold, it appears. Now let's talk about storm systems. This is the GFS, and really all modeling keying on now a system toward next weekend. GFS develops a Gulf low late Friday and pulls it through Friday into Saturday next week. There's a quick peek at the Canadian. It's a little slower with this, and the European is slower, but it has the system as well. That's the Canadian. 7 o'clock Saturday evening next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend, another system pulling by. So I think we're going to get back into a pattern where we have southern branch storm systems moving through, and if you're looking for winter weather, maybe milder, but at least we have storm systems around. And again, I don't think the cold air is just going to vanish from the map. So there's going to be some cold air to play with some of these systems as we go through the rest of the month. All right, that's it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thanks for watching. Keep it tuned to News 14 Carolina on television. Of course, tomorrow morning we'll have complete updates if there are any snow accumulation issues. We'll have complete traffic updates for you. We'll be live on the air all morning, of course, and keep you up to date if indeed we do see some snow accumulations developing. All right, that's it for today's edition of the video. Have a wonderful day today, and God bless.